All right, so hello everybody. We have Lana Sackwild. Please tell me I said it right.
That's right. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So Lana is a lucid dreamer, and I recently found her through a content creating group. So, well, I had seen you before, but I just started to get to know you in a different way through the group. But I had been already eyeing your stuff.
Yeah, planning on each other.
So, Lana, what on earth brings you to lucid dreaming as a thing, like as your main thing?
Yeah, I love hearing about people's journeys and what brought them to lucid dreaming. For me,
Mm-hmm.
it's been I was really lucky that lucid dreaming came into my life from childhood. Not so lucky in the fact that it came in through like a lot of childhood nightmares. Um, but the good twist on that is that it brought me to lucid dreaming. I had this weird experience where I used to watch this cartoon channel, like kids cartoon channel called CITV. And they have this big yellow button as the logo. And I remember like watching that and thinking, the next time like I have a nightmare, I'm gonna push it and like everything will change to cartoon and I won't be scared anymore. And obviously I had no idea that that is like lucid dreaming. But yeah, the next time I was in a nightmare, I remember thinking like this is just a dream, like monsters are not real, like that kind of thing. And I saw the button and pushed it and everything changed into cartoon. And then I was able to like
Wow.
shrink down the monsters and stuff. So that was like
how old were you?
maybe like 4 or 5.
Wow.
It wasn't like a solid practice or anything like that, but I remember being like, oh, you can do that. And then every so often throughout my childhood, like going back to lucid dreaming when I had a problem or when something came up that I wanted to do. I used it for like helping with riding a bike, other little things like that.
So you would say that for you it was more part of your identity
Yeah,
that you just decided to be more vocal about, because
yeah.
it's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than going off and studying it, you know what I mean? Because if people come through it in different ways. Some people decide I want to lucid dream, at a later age, and I'm going to train for it, and they go to retreats and they learn. There's that way, which is cool too. But for you, I think it's very similar to me, which is it's just we grew up like
It comes to you in your childhood as well, Jen.
yeah,
Yeah.
same, just part of my life. It was just
Mhm.
always. Funny thing is, I didn't grow up with any of the techniques, so for me, it was interesting to read the techniques and see which ones aligned with the things
Yeah.
that I was inventing. You know how you invented the control
Yeah.
or the CIT button? For me, it was, I would come up with similar things, or I would be like, if I had to study for an exam, I would get up at 4, study, go back to bed, and lucid dream or astral
Yeah.
project. So this was like a wake back to bed technique without even knowing that's what it was. But I knew that it would induce lucid dreaming.
Yeah, I love that. It's weird because it's like going through the cycle, and I'm sure it's the same for you that when we got older and then we suddenly realized like, oh, this is actually a thing.
Yeah.
So it's only been the last couple of years that I was like, I want to do this
Mm.
professionally and actually go back and read through all the material and the science behind lucid dreaming. So it kind of, yeah, we both maybe did it the other way around to a lot of
Yeah, for me, it's fascinating. Like I am just learning the science.
people.
I never was interested in it until it started to get interesting. You know what I mean? Now there's so many things that are actually catching my attention that I'm just like, oh, wait a second, I'm actually interested in. That's why people like you, a little bit Tree and Allison McCarthy, and people who are actually taking it to the next level of research,
Yeah.
that is starting to interest me a lot. So speaking of research, please tell everybody about your research, please.
So the research project I'm doing, the long title necessary for the master's is the healing and transformative power potential of lucid dreaming for mitigating depression.
Wow.
And yeah, I realized that through my own journey and through a lot of other people's journeys when I was interviewing people, speaking to people. I didn't know exactly what I wanted my study to be on, but I knew that lucid dreaming is such a healing practice and a transformative practice. And so I kind of put out a survey to people to see, what has it done for you in your life. And I found that for a lot of people, it actually really helped them with things like overcoming depression or working through depression, anxiety, and like a lot of mental health issues, and people not wanting to be on medications and wanting like an empowering, actionable, force from within them to help with mental health. So yeah, I decided to do my main focus on depression, since there's like a little bit of studies with lucid dreaming and depression, not much, but I could kind of pull off those to create this new research project. So yeah, it's basically taking parts of people's journeys and what they did with lucid dreaming and how it helped them. It's more of the how part, like how they used it to work through self-development, creativity, empowerment as a spiritual kind of transpersonal modality. So that's what I'm working on at the moment.
And that sounds amazing, because it's such an issue nowadays. Seriously, depression, anxiety, like all these things. What are you planning to do with the research? Is it going to be a book or presentation, a workshop, or what is the plan for it?
Yeah, kind of a bit of everything. Okay. I'm always like one of those overachiever types. I'm like, it's gonna be a book and research.
Everything.
But yeah, I think as far as like taking the research and where to go with it next, I really want to. I think, as well as a lot of the participants in the study mentioned, that it really helped them get off medications. And in the US, being addicted to medications is huge. The opioid crisis and everything else alongside that. So, obviously antidepressants are like wildly used here as well. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with medication at all. And for some people, medication works great, and that's amazing. But for other people, it just doesn't work. And
it doesn't. It's true.
Like the target audience that I named.
Or the side effects are too strong for them.
Yeah. And also, there's no reason why you can't use lucid dreaming and be on medication. I think it doesn't have to be one or the other. But if it's something that can help people who are going through that process, that's great. So maybe, if my research can help towards some kind of post-drug treatment programs, I think that would be awesome. And that's one of my main goals.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So what was that moment when you decided that it was going to be like your life's work?
Yeah. It was kind of what you're saying, like when I was going through to look at the science and like what has been done on this. I lived in Japan for 5 years, and I kind of had a moment while I was there, one of those crazy moments. It was on New Year's Eve, and it was running, and I ran like 20K on a treadmill. I like missed the New Year's. It was just like running and running and running.
Wow.
And thinking about my life, and being like, what am I doing? Like, should I stay here? Should I go home? Like, where am I going with my life? And I decided to move back to England and really think about what I wanted to do. And I knew that lucid dreaming had been such a big part of my life. So yeah, I started looking up research on it and if there was any programs on it, or yeah, all
So
of that.
it was linked with like a more meaningful part of you, because I mean, it sounds like you were having like an existential moment in the treadmill.
Yeah, I
Who
think,
am I?
yeah, I think everyone has to have those once
Of
in a
course.
while. And New Year is like such a time to have them, isn't it? Because it's like, it's that moment of
Yeah.
like starting a new year, like, what am I
Mhm.
going to be doing for this year? And I think I had that moment there where I was just like, I've been living here. I thought about my goals for Japan and I'd hit all my goals. And I was just like, now what? Like, now what
Right.
am I going to do?
Hmm.
And had, I guess, been blocking out for a couple of years, like, really what my calling was or what was important to me and how I wanted to contribute to the world, you know? So,
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's like how can you be of service? Like what can you do that is useful and yet meaning that you love, but also it's challenging because I mean, let's admit it, it's challenging um, subject
yeah,
because you're basically it's not super popular, and at the same time it's something that it takes a lot of practice, and it might not be as easy for everybody as it is maybe for you, me, and some
yeah,
people. You know that you're going to have people that are going to have to be really going hard, and for a long time, it could be
yeah.
months, right, before
Yeah.
they get any results or something. So do you coach, do you guide people, what do
Too.
you?
I have a coaching program that I started up last year. And it's amazing because it's so personalized to each person.
Mm,
This year I am working on getting more of a, like, step-by-step courses. Last
right.
year I ran a course for lucid dreaming to alleviate anxiety, which was amazing, and I want to really develop that
Mhm.
this year to release it as a step-by-step course.
Well, I
But
think that's what's good about one-on-ones, though. Even though it's like tailored, it gives you like everybody has commonalities, which then allows you to do like a general sort of course, right?
yeah. And I think the awesome thing about lucid dreaming is, like, right in the beginning of it, you have to think about, you know, if you get lucid
Mhm.
and you have the freedom to do whatever you want, like, what is it that you want to do? And that question, a lot of people don't think about it in their day to day life. Like, if money wasn't a barrier, if, you know,
Right.
travel or uh, gravity even, or like any of these things were not a barrier that we all,
Space, time, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, like, and it's
Male,
so,
female,
yeah, yeah, and different species, everything, and people
dog,
suddenly
cat.
have this mind-blowing moment, like, I don't know, like, maybe I want to be a dolphin, or like, yeah, all these things. So it's so interesting to see
Hmm.
where people's mind goes if they're asked that question. And that's why it's such an individualized coaching program, because everyone's goals are so different.
Plus, if you're doing it to heal someone, let's see if they're depression or something, they could easily, like, if they attain lucidity, then you
Mhm.
could easily play with these things, like they could heal through being other things other than themselves, because
Yeah,
the depression, I feel like, it's because you're stuck inside yourself too much,
yeah.
and sometimes you just need, like, a lot of times my husband is very positive and energetic person, and I'm a little bit more quiet, and believe it or not, and then he's really loud, and so sometimes, and he sees everything as fun, all the scary stuff that I'm like too scared for him, it's fun. So
Yeah.
I'm always like, what would Dimitri feel right now? What would Dimitri say or do? It's like a part of my own therapy to say, like, what would Dimitri do?
Yeah, I love that. I literally just used that exact thing with one of my clients the other day, and I
Mhm.
got her to wear a bracelet, and every time she sees it, to think, like, what would the dream me do, or the lucid dream me do in this situation, because sometimes our dream characters are so different from us. And like her dream character is always this like problem solving, action taking, like she's always in it, like detective mode. But she loses that sometimes in her waking life, and like especially if depression comes in, you can see in that
everything
fog. Yeah. So that is such a huge question, like what would I do? And in the dream we get such a different perspective. It's really cool.
You just said bracelet, and I remember this dream that you wrote in the group about catching bracelets underwater. Anyway, it's a link.
I had to share that with the group.
Could be a link.
It could be a link. Yeah, maybe that was why I thought of it.
It's like a yeah, you were reaching out for the jewel. You were a hand.
It was a hand. I was literally an attached hand living on the bottom of the ocean, and people were dropping these little bracelets and beads, and there were other hands there. And it was like our job to, you know, catch the right beads, or like I think I was trying to create a bracelet. And
that's amazing. That could be your like inner workings, giving you more ideas about, you know, what you do and what to do. Like that's amazing. I mean, think about it. Really, this dream is really cool. I love it.
It is cool. Yeah.
And now it makes sense if that's one of your techniques.
I know. Yeah, that's so weird. I never thought about that, but that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
That's so cool. So, like when did you start doing one-on-ones with clients?
I started doing them when I started out my research project. So it was 2 years ago. I started working with clients, and honestly, I didn't want to. I was like, I'm very like, you got to plan it out, be strategic about stuff, and I was like, I wrote down, you know, my kind of visions for the year. I predicted that I would start up my business in 8 years' time. Yeah. And that's what I thought. That's the amount of time I needed. But when I started up this research and I put it out there online, I got so many messages from people who were just interested or wanted to try it and wanted to work together. And I kind of, you know, was like, I'm just doing research, like, sorry, go work it out. But then I did get very heartfelt messages from a lot of people who really needed help and believed that this work could help them. And that really resonated with me because I know,
you know, that it can.
Yeah. Yeah. So I started doing it and I never looked back. I was just like, this is the work I need to be doing, and it felt right. So kind of materialized naturally in that way.
So, and now this is all going to, are you done with your research?
I finished my research in February. So it's pretty done. Yeah. But
so now you're heading over toward a new territory, right? New territory, which is retreats.
Yes. Yes. As much as I love working with people one-on-one, and I do work with a couple of people in person, but a lot of my clients are online and all over the world, which is super cool. There's something super magical about being in a group together. And I know that you just joined a dreaming group for that reason as well, right?
I'm testing out a couple. Test driving groups. Well, it depends how deep do they go. I don't know.
Yeah. And
I'm interested. I'm only interested in depth. So if it's just like, oh, I had this dream, oh, cool, and then I'm not interested, you know, unless they allow more, you know, really get into it.
Yeah. I went to a couple of different like retreat event group type things last year, and I realized that there's nothing over here that I know of that is doing lucid dreaming retreats. And so I put together the idea with David J. Brown, and people signed up. People are coming, so we're like,
wow,
it's really exciting. And speaking to the people who are coming and some of their goals and their dreams and what they want to get out of it, it's just going to be a really magical weekend, I think.
Oh my God, it's going to be it's definitely completely different, and it can be really life-changing for the group.
Yeah.
Individually and as a group, it's like this community thing really goes to the next level, like out of the online. And I used to belong to a meditation center in Berkeley, California, and it was like it turned into like family. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah. I think kind of stemmed from that for me as well. Like I was like, I need a physical family group. I need people that I've met and we've done this together. And
Yep.
and that's the thing, is like I really do believe like people's lives will be changed over the weekend. And it falls on International Lucid Dreaming Day, April 12th. So
No way.
Trees Retreat is that weekend as well.
You guys are gonna be
that people all over the world are gonna be like lucid dreaming together, and we're together, and I'm just really excited about it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And when you like dream about where this is going, like how far do you dream? Like what like amazingly super goals, dreams do you have about this whole lucid dreaming thing?
Yeah. I mean, seeing what has come out of the past year or so already, I've learned to just not put limitations on anything. I really,
That's good.
Yeah, I know that a lot of us in the content creators group where we all chat, we have our complaints about how can people be ignoring this and dreams, and like why is this such a small group of people, right? Because we're just like this connects everyone. It connects people through all cultures. Everyone dreams.
Everyone dreams.
Yeah.
Everyone dreams. This is like something that's like, if you're a human being, you dream, you know?
Yeah. Tied into it. So I don't know how far it can go, but I think it would be incredible to have it blow up in the same way that meditation has, yoga has, and that it becomes a real part of culture again. Because I think you were talking about this as well, of how in the past dreams were so important to people in cultures and as
a
communities. Yeah, people would wake up and go and share their dreams, and people
make decisions.
Yes, based off of it, and the dreams all shared and discussed, and it was so important. And then that kind of got lost somehow. So I guess that's a huge goal of like, I want that to come back.
So it's like mission.
Yeah, bring it back.
Create a dreaming society. See, and that's why sometimes I am so uncomfortable sharing stuff. Mm-hmm. But I do it because I'm like, how else would I expect somebody to come out with a dreaming society if I myself can't be open enough to share how I do this on a day-to-day basis, you know? And I'm still learning to do that. You know, I'm still learning to, I'm still learning to learn how to express or show that, you know what I mean? Without going into panic. That I've shown too much, you know?
I hear you.
Yeah, because it's like showing your underwear to a certain level, but you're showing your psyche, what's under the hood.
Yeah, it's scary. It can be scary, and like it happens to me all the time where I'm like, I have a cool dream and I want to share it, and then you feel like, what if this means something or someone interprets it a certain way?
Yeah.
And you're sharing a huge part of yourself, but at the same time, I'm willing to risk that kind of fear factor of sharing and getting involved, because what's come out of it so far is so worth it, and the connections that have been made. And
in your retreat, you're probably going to go through a different scenario where people will open up because they know they're in a closed space that is intimate with people around,
I'm really excited about that. And that's what a lot of people who are attending have told me. They're like, I've never been in a group like this. Like this
Oh,
is gonna be
wow.
the first time, or just that like my friends are so sick of me talking about my crazy dream shit, and like
Oh, they're all going to be like, oh, we all love dreams here.
yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, that's so cool. You get to geek out with other dream geeks for
I
a few
know
days.
that is the dream, right? Is
That
to
is heaven.
be with a bunch of dream geeks who
Oh,
get
I
to
love
tell
it.
crazy stories, and everyone's just like, yes.
Yeah, I know.
um,
It's so, that is so priceless, priceless.
mhm.
Tree, who does a lot of retreats, she tells me that she sometimes gets really excited that so many conscious dreamers in one room, you know?
Yeah, it's such a rare experience.
Hmm.
And somehow, even though we all are dreaming, and when I tell people what I do, and I'm sure you have the same experience, like there's never a person who's not like, oh my God, I had a crazy dream recently. It's everyone. And it's
Everyone
so,
has had a crazy dream at some point.
yeah, it's so
Or, you
great
know,
to talk about it.
the most common thing is the recurring thing. When they say they don't dream, then like a little bit later, they'll be like, well, I've always had this one dream that repeats. And I'm always like, oh.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like,
And
that's the doorway.
yeah, I love the people that turn it on as well. Like one of my good friends, Anna, she's going to be the photographer at this retreat. And she,
Oh, have people video too.
yes, she will do.
Oh my God, so exciting.
She she was one of those people. She was like, I never dream. It's just black, like nothing.
It's just
Um,
black.
and I started telling her
Dark.
about, yeah, like a couple of ways to work with recall. And like I was just like, put it out there, like when you go to sleep tonight, be like, I am gonna dream, like I'm gonna remember my dream. Told her about how to record it or what to think about. And literally that night, of course, she like wakes up the next day, she's like, I had like 100 dreams for the first time in 10 years.
And isn't that like super common? It happens to me all the time. Somebody's like, I don't dream. And then it's like, oh my God, Jenny. The next day I'm just like, yeah, that's all it takes.
I
It's
know.
like just being aware that I could remember, but it's like almost like you give her the excuse
Mm-hmm.
to dream.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
giving her permission, not the excuse. You're giving her her
Yeah.
subconscious permission to dream.
I'm
And a
like,
lot of people in a lucid dream, they're like, uh, I never know what to do. And then suddenly they're like, what would Jenny do? The lucid dream. They're like, Jenny would fly.
yeah. But we visit people as well. I get a lot of messages from people getting lucid because I show up in their dream. They're like, it's Lana. She does the lucid dreaming thing, and then they're like, click in. They're like, wait, this is a lucid dream.
Right. We become a reality check, dream,
Yeah.
lucid triggers. It's true. I swear, I'm a good lucid trigger. People are like, oh, Jenny. And then they're like, lucid. I'm just...
Yeah. So maybe for the people tuning into this video as well, like we're gonna both.
Yes, you will have 100 dreams tonight.
That's all it takes, really.
I know. So, Lana, how can people find you online, both for one-on-one coaching and number 2, people in your area for the retreat, and number 3, your online presence?
So my website is my name, lanasacwild.com. And through that, you can access the retreat, which is lanasacwild.com/dreamingwideawake. And that's going to be in Boulder, Colorado from April 10th to the 12th this year. And then my Instagram is my name again, Lana Sackwild, and my Facebook page is Get Lucid with Lana. And I believe my YouTube page is also Get Lucid with Lana. And I promise I've been inspired by strong women like you that I'm gonna start, video content. I was very afraid of video, but I'm really trying to push with that, and like you said, like push through the fear.
It takes like a year to really get used to being on, like, even when the first year I was posting on video, I was just like, what did I just do? I was horrified, mortified. It was horrible. Hated it. I loved filming, but I would just it took me 1 year to press publish.
Yeah.
I had the videos that I would sit in front of the computer but then the funny thing is that when I pressed publish, nobody was watching really. 4 people. So
Yeah.
then I was like, oh, okay, I get to ease into this because I'm new. Like I didn't even think about that. It's not like 100 people are going to be looking right away, you know?
No, exactly.
Maybe nowadays, yes.
Yeah, hundreds.
But
Or,
I'll be putting your links and stuff
amazing.
for
Thank
people
you.
to, and the description below, in the card thingies. I never know which
Yeah.
side it's going to point. And yeah, Lana is a dream coach and a researcher.
Yeah.
So your interest could go either way.
Yeah, beyond. Hopefully all the different directions.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like I said, no limitations
no
anymore. I don't want to
limitations.
limit myself to anything, and just following the dream signs to see what manifests next.
And if you could give that Lana running on a treadmill some advice, what would it be?
That's such a good question. I think I would tell myself to stop thinking about what everyone else wants from me. That was a huge thing, and in Japan, in that culture as well. Like, there's a lot of thoughts about what is everyone else going to think of what I'm doing, and people are very aware of that. Like, what would my family think if I do this? What would my friends think? Will people judge me? Like, is there enough money in this?
Right.
All those kind of things. And I think if you really follow your passion, and you really follow your dreams, like it just works out. It works out the right way. And even though, I had those fears, and I was like, my friends didn't think I'm crazy, my parents didn't think I'm crazy. Everyone is so proud of me for doing this.
And here you are, like a year later.
Yeah.
Is it a year or two later?
A year later, yeah.
A year later. Wow. Wow.
And yeah, I'm really pleased that I decided to, go with what I knew, what I felt. And I ignored the haters and the people who said I couldn't.
Oh yeah. Don't, this is your life, and you can do with it what you want.
Yeah.
It's like, for me, I always have to have that 14-year-old inside that is just, well, I guess the metaphor is it's just singing into a hairbrush, so to speak, except it's talking about dreams. I don't lip sync, but I will. That's how I feel. I feel like I'm playing, and it's just because I enjoy it. And then with time, I realize, oh, people are probably listening, so I don't want to lose that, having fun, just saying innocently whatever I want, at the same time with the wisdom that you gain with age, because I'm not a little kid anymore, but I love that childlike playfulness.
Yeah. And I love
never to leave.
You're passing on that flame, and I love that your kids are getting interested in dreams.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys sharing all that. It's so exciting.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing to share with the family, for sure. Well, I guess that's our time with Lana Sackwild, and just keep an eye out for her. She's going to be doing a lot of things, and if you're in Colorado, that's where you live?
I'm living in Boulder, Colorado.
Okay, so if you're in Boulder, Colorado, you have Lana that you can meet in person. All right, Lana. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me, and it's been a pleasure getting to know you, and I look forward to more collaborations, more.
Me too.
More Get Lucid with Lana.
Thank you so much.
All right, Lana, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.